It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Oh, well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we are serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. And if you're watching us live from our YouTube channel and you haven't hit that little subscribe button, do it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you check out our previous episodes, plus some wonderful content brought to you by some of our favorite Days cast members and some of your very own hosts here at Dishin Days. We have a deep dive into Those Were the Days Extended, brought to you by Justin Lee Hareld, and our cool Thea on her birthday gives and sheds light and gives friendly advice to some of our Salemites who desperately need it, in Thea says. So make sure you check that out, plus some other interviews from Day of Days and the Daytime Emmys. Just a lot of good stuff happening, so make sure you check it out. And if you want to be an exclusive member of our exclusive members-only page for $4.99 a month, you too can get some before anybody else sees the content. So check that out and join us on our virtual events.
Yeah.
Where we all get together and talk about the one thing we love, days. Open and honestly. Also, if you don't have time to watch us right here on your computer or TV or cell phone screen, you can take us along with you on a long car ride, or maybe while you're working out or having a picnic in the park or walking your dog. You can just check out Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Look up Dishin Days and find out what is happening in Salem this week, brought to you by your host of Dishin Days. And of course, we want to show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is serving up a couple of soap bars of his own. Make sure you check out Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital recaps, brought to you by JLJ Media on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found. And while you're there, check out his original audio dramas, because James Lott Jr. is such a dear old friend that he helped invent the hearing aid. Because he's hard of hearing. And having a birthday celebratory drink because she doesn't need a reason to drink.
I know.
Y'all make sure y'all give a shout out to our very lovely and beautiful Miss Araceli Aviles celebrating her birthday. You can tell us down in the comments. You can also tell us what you think about this week's episodes of Days if you're watching us later. And don't forget to wish a happy birthday to Araceli. Happy birthday to Araceli. Hey.
Thank you, everyone. Yes,
surprised you're still standing.
It's been a fun birthday weekend. I got to spend my whole birthday with just me and my sister, which was really nice. Cool. And then my mom took me to a concert yesterday. Yes, and yeah, Debbie, my cake was delicious. I had strawberry shortcake as I was serenaded by Josh Groban.
Oh, Josh Groban. Oh, cool.
Yes.
You went to the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He's always such a treat, and he's an LA native, so it's always I always enjoy his concerts very much. And yes, this is my tiara, very sparkly.
No, on her birthday.
I think Michelle Outhouse said somewhere in the comments that I was right. I'm right about so many things. I'm curious somebody needs to inform me what I was right about.
I'm sorry, you're what?
It's true. I'm right about so many things, but I just was curious. I need some expansion. What was I right about? Too many people.
let's do a poll right now.
Well,
Are you one of the many
not on a
people
birthday.
are you one of the many people that Araceli are talking about? Do you think she's often right? Let us know in the comments. I also love that Araceli will always make her way to the Hollywood Bowl, yet we can't get her to come to West Hollywood.
There is a difference because I'm not hitting traffic on the way to the bowl.
You're not hitting traffic on the way to the bowl?
No, because I take the bus.
Oh, the Hollywood Bowl bus?
Yes. Takes you literally right there.
Fair.
And I get to bring my own snacks and I get to bring my own booze. Nobody's overcharging me for things. Seriously, if you're ever in the LA area during the summer, I can't say enough good things about a venue. If the venue you're going to lets you bring in your own booze,
this is not a paid promotional commercial.
This is not a paid promotion, although
are there another company that won't give us anything? Now watch us get tickets to the Hollywood Bowl, and we can't get.
Before we take a deep dive into all things Salem and Araceli, you may have noticed that Michael Mattis is not with us today because he's doing other stuff. So shout out to Michael Mattis and MLM Images. But we're here to talk about this week's episodes of Days. And speaking of, what did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
I actually like this week. I thought we got some good movement. Some definitely like movement on a particular story we've been bitching and complaining about for over a year now, I guess. So thankful for that. And like things are moving along. I thought it was a big improvement over the last couple of weeks.
Araceli?
Definitely movement. I teetered on yay at the beginning of the week. And by the end of the week, I was like, all these hypocrites need to shut up. Those are my main two opinions of the week.
I'm going to have to be honest, y'all. And y'all know I love this show with all my heart. Y'all know I started this podcast for us to come and talk about the show and, be real yet and honest yet respectful because we know that so many people put in hard work. However, I think this week I had to have a talk with myself and I said, I have to admit, I'm bored.
Yeah. I could see that.
I watched, I can't even say it's the show is on, but I don't know if it's pulling me in. Because even when I watched, a few episodes earlier in the week and then I finished up today, and as I pressed play, I was like, what happened this week? And then I was just like, I'm just not, I have to be honest in saying that I'm not paying attention because I feel like nothing is pulling me in to keep my attention. I just kind of feel like if I miss something, it'll probably, I'll figure it out later on in the episode or later on a different episode. But the pacing and I just feel like I'm just watching the same stuff week after week.
I can understand that. There's nothing super exciting. There's not like an end of the day or end of the week cliffhanger right now. So I totally understand why you're saying that. I think I just feel more comfortable in how Days is writing right now because it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable and I'm in my comfort zone. And that's a nice place to be, where other places are like making me want to rip my hair out. Or making me want to rip somebody else's hair out.
Yeah. And I mean, soaps are soaps, and
Mhm.
it's a lot of work, it's a lot of decades, a lot of characters, having to keep people's interests with new stuff. But I'm just like, it feels like a struggle. It feels like 2015, the white elephant.
Oh God,
Not the
jeez.
white elephant.
Back to the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. It really
Uh,
feels like that. So
Mm.
let's take a deeper dive into that, shall we?
yeah.
And hopefully I'm able to pay attention. It is now time to start
Dishin
Dishin
Days.
Dishin
Days.
Days.
Yeah, it was close. As close as it could be. One day we'll actually record it. All right, everyone. Let's kick things off with our first storyline, which is Baby Fever. Ooh, you got that baby fever. Ooh, you got that baby fever. Baby, got that baby fever. Okay, thank you, Me World. Aaron was channeling his inner Shulk with inviting Ari to his room to play Xenoblade. He was really feeling it. Get it? Feeling it? Okay. Shulk, Xenoblade's main character catchphrase. You still don't get it. No.
I
No.
love how you put that all in one. All in this.
Yeah.
No, we get it, but
No,
let's try
we
it.
put it. Yeah. We'll take your
We'll
word
get-
for it. Me word.
Yes. We'll get that. We'll get to that
Yeah.
in a second. But see, okay,
Mm.
I will say it's very interesting that I stand so strongly with Sophia,
Mhm.
even though she's in the wrong.
Oh,
I
yeah.
stand so strong next to her, only because I just feel like Tate, Brady, her mother, no one has no idea except Melinda what she's going through.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I know that she's lying. I know that she's covering up and things like that. But I feel like it's what she's doing is justifiable in a way.
I 100% agree with you, Tony. However, in fairness to members of our audience who disagree, and in fairness to Justin, who has tried to argue this point with me, I did actively try to take a step back and really look at the whole picture and really look at Tate's point of view and Brady's point of view and even Steve's point of view on this, because I think that they all made valid points from their perspective. And if I were involved in this situation and I were advising these men on what they should do next, however, I shouldn't have to advise men on what to do about what women do with their bodies and their babies, but I digress. My next question would then be, you want to get to the truth. You want to make sure that this baby is okay. That's all understandable. My next question would be then, once you find out the truth and you see that either the baby is okay or maybe you have an opinion on that the baby is not okay, my next question would then be, what then? You find out the truth, you see where the baby has been placed during this whole time, you discover Sophia's decision making. What then? And that's where I think I think is my sticking point in this whole thing, is that they're so focused on that aspect that they're not thinking far enough ahead. And I'm like, okay, but I want you to, once the dust settles and you find out everything there is to know, because nobody can keep a secret, what is your plan?
I think their whole approach could be different. I think that if they suspect what they do, they suspect that Sophia is lying,
Yeah.
Sit her down and say, listen, we can only imagine that this is probably a trying time for you. But we want to let you know that we, as in Tate and Brady, we want to be here for you. And some things are just not adding up for us. So if there's anything that you want to tell us about this situation, please, we are begging you, tell us. And
That is
allow
100% right.
and allow Sophia to really just be vulnerable and say, because we all know she had to make a decision because she didn't
We
want
know.
the baby. She knows Tate didn't want the baby, but her mother was going to push for her to probably keep the baby if there was no adoption in place. So she made the decision to drop it off safely at the fire station. But I don't think anyone is taking, and even though no one knows that except Melinda, which thank God someone knows, and maybe Sarah knows.
I think Sarah knows the whole story, I think.
Right. But it's like mentally, physically, she's probably just going through it and no one's really there for her. Because now you have Tate. Where's the adoption papers? Where's my baby? Why'd you do the father? It's like, Tate, why don't you take a second and think, connect the dots if need be. She probably had the baby by herself. There was no one there. She gave it, like, there's so many things that she had to endure by herself.
Yeah. Like even if the situation had been what she told him it was, that she gave birth in Chicago with the adoptive parents, even if that had been the truth, the reality is that's still technically by herself. That is absolutely no emotional, no one in the room was there emotionally for her. And that is the mentality that she has now been living with for months and months and months. Everybody says that they're here for me, but nobody is actually here for me in this situation. Nobody understands the very real fear that I have been living with for months, that I was never going to get my life back, and that this baby was going to be forced to stay with a mother who didn't want who didn't want to raise him. That's a real fear.
Yeah.
And Sophia said that again this week, and Tate just kind of brushed it off.
It's like, I want to see my baby. I wanted to, but
saying,
also,
but you're 18. But she wouldn't have been able to. You don't know what would have been able to happen, because I guarantee people throw around that like it's something. Grandparents are able to petition for custody of children. It's happened plenty of times. That was a very real fear that Sophia had. Sophia did not want her mother to step into that situation. And they just blew right past that as if that wasn't a real fear.
Right. Justin, you've been quiet. What you got to say?
My sympathy for Sophia, I'll say, is waning. Or better, I'll say, I think it's grossly misplaced. Everything you just said makes sense in a situation of Sophia versus Amy Choi. I don't think any of it makes sense in a situation of Sophia versus Tate Black. And I think we're allowing Tate to be some sort of collateral damage because of whatever pressure she's feeling from her mother, which I think are real. And I loved it this week when she did voice those concerns, because I do think those are real. I don't understand how they transfer from Amy Choi forcing her to be a mother, which I 100% believe she would, or she would at least pressure her to be a mother and keep the baby. Totally get that. I understand Sophia versus mom, Amy Choi controlling mother, forcing me. I don't agree that Tate is allowed to be collateral damage to that. And I don't understand all these other factors that really, to me, have nothing to do with parentage. I think people are brought up. He has a girlfriend. People are allowed to have girlfriends. I don't know what that has to do with your parental rights being taken away by someone. Tate and Sophia are not married. It's not like he's forcing, they're not under the same roof. If she doesn't want her parental rights, I'm full agreement of that. I don't think that now imparts on Tate's ability. And
I agree.
What I'm not hearing, one second, just let me. What I'm not hearing is their baby. I'm hearing it from a position of it's her baby because she's the mother and she's the gestational parent, which I respect. That doesn't extend past the birth of the baby. I'm sorry. I know people think it does. It doesn't. That's not how our country is run. That's not how parental rights work in reality. I think in regards to her being the gestational parent, she is 100% in control of that situation and in control of her body and any decisions she wants to make. And I think that's been respected by everyone except Amy Choi. So I still understand and agree with Sophia versus Amy Choi. I don't know how all of that baggage and that stuff gets transferred over to Tate. I also don't, like I said, I don't agree he becomes collateral damage. It's not her baby, it's their baby. And I think when you come at it from that perspective, I think you look at things differently. I think my point in most of this ongoing conversation we've been having since this started, I think Steve I'm looking at it as all of the people who've kept, all of the parents who've kept children away from the other parent that we've seen examples on this show. I think a lot of them we jump on board with because they make sense. When Sammy was pregnant with the twins and she wanted to keep them from EJ, i.e. her rapist, we got along with that. Steve made a great reference of history when his mother, Jo, gave or placed him in Jack because one, their parent was an abusive rapist who would most likely have abused them. Yes. I can get behind all of those. I don't get behind this reasoning is not strong enough for me to keep the baby from Tate. It's just not. I also think that I'll make this last point so I'm not rambling.
No, I'm taking
whatever can come of whatever is going to come from him seeing the baby, 100% his choice and his right. If he decides the baby is fine and he just wants closure, cool. If he decides, you know what, I changed my mind. I do want to be a parent, a single parent with the help and support of my father and my grandmother and the rest of my family and all their money and everything that comes with that. Perfectly fine too. What he doesn't have a right to is for Sophia to be a parent. I don't think at any point he's ever said that or any point he's ever done that. So I'm not getting it. Like I said, I understand her position versus her mother. Just I don't understand how Tate becomes collateral damage to that. I think he's being a bit annoying, but he's also looking for the truth of his baby. So
you know what I think it is? I think that maybe we are feeling that Tate has no general concern for Sophia, and it's all about what he wants. He wants to know where the child, I just feel like, and maybe I wasn't paying attention. I just feel like he hasn't had a moment of like checking in with Sophia to make sure she's okay. And it's this consistent, what happened to the baby? What's the address? I want to send a gift. I want to see my baby. It's more so about his needs and what he wants and what he missed out on rather than ever taking the time to check in on her.
And I'll expand on what Tony is saying in that, you said that Tate and his family have been supportive of Sophia, and to an extent that is true. But I think that there's a difference in how it's done, because saying you support someone and saying that you support their decisions and, being there for appointments and everything is great. But there is a step further than that in what Tony mentioned earlier, and really just sitting down, making a point to sit down with someone and say, I'm gonna sit here with no judgment, with only concern, and say whatever, some things are not adding up, and I'm not here to blame or shame you, but I need to know if you're okay, and if everything is okay, and I'm not going to be upset or angry. It's that extra step, that's that, because Sophia has been operating from a place of fear and anxiety for months and months and months and months, and telling someone that you support them and actually taking that extra step, there's a difference. So that's I think where we're feeling the disconnect with Tate as a character, where it's like we're not saying that he doesn't deserve his parental rights. We're not saying that he didn't deserve to be included in the decision, but it seems to me that I think it just feels to all of us, to more of us than not, that those extra steps, and now I'm not just saying Tate, everybody in her life, no one has taken, but Melinda has taken that extra step to say, with literally no blame, no shame, no judgment, are you okay? Is the baby okay? Everybody else has kind of said that and then followed it up with, but don't you think, and don't you feel like you should, like, and that was one of the first things that I learned in my empathy training, is that when you follow up that kind of a support with a but,
you froze.
I know, right in the middle of a point. You have to.
Yeah. I hope she realizes she froze.
Oh.
She's probably still talking and not realize she froze.
I thought you guys.
Oh, there
froze.
she is. That was just you.
Yeah.
When you played, when you play this back, you'll realize you were like,
you actually right in the middle of the point. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So my point is that when you use it's one of the things that they teach you when you're using in communications training, is when you use the word but or however, and when you're having a conversation with someone, you completely negate the argument that you were previously trying to make. And so that's why I think we all feel the disconnect in the people that are in this situation. Now on the Brady and Steve side of it, again, I think their intentions are great. And it seems like they're probably going to figure this out sooner rather than later. And I go back to my original argument, which was, once you find out everything, what then?
Right. I think,
I think very honest conversations are going to need to be had.
But I don't think they know that information because they haven't gone through the process of every, you know what I mean? It started from a lie. Honestly, it's hard for me to have sympathy for Sophia when you're perpetrating a lie. So I don't know about quantifying Tate's empathy or sympathy for her when it's based on a lie. But
yeah, and I'm willing to give him actually more grace to an extent at this point, because he's young. Whereas I think that Brady and Steve, I think especially with Steve's personal history with adoption and things like that, and him knowing just how nuanced and how scary it can be for a mother to give up her own child, that I think that they as adults need to be a few steps ahead in this scenario and say to themselves that, or make a pact that whatever they find out, an honest conversation is going to be needed to have with Tate about what he really wants.
Mm-hmm.
Is it closure, like he's been saying, or has the situation gone so emotionally far that he actually wants to be a parent, and in that, or have a real honest open adoption? And if that's the case, then he is going to have to come to terms with the fact that he is going to be the sole parent making those decisions.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to be fully vested. He's too busy humping Holly in the dorm day one.
And that, well, I mean, and that's the thing is like when people say like Justin, you said like it shouldn't matter that he has a girlfriend. No, and it shouldn't matter that he has a girlfriend. How I'm not and it shouldn't matter that he has a girlfriend, and he's going to have to deal with the full reality of his life when the truth comes out.
Listen, none of these characters outside of a handful of them that we can probably name would we say are going to be amazing, great parents off the start. Everything is a gamble when you have a child. You know what I mean? I think Tate is as responsible and as irresponsible as anybody else. But that has nothing to do with pulling his parental rights because you assume his focus is on a girlfriend. Listen, my focus is on men. I'll tell you that. If my baby showed up at my doorstep, my focus would switch because now I'm a father. So I don't know what any of that means, really. I mean, listen, I'm sure your focus is on other things.
But it's you as an adult knowing the difference. Where it's like we just collectively think that Tate isn't really like his mind has not really adjusted to that. His mind is very much split on that thing. He thinks that he can put one part of his life in one box and one part of his life in another box. And that's just when you have a child, that it just everything else not disappears, but your life focuses in.
I think that's him, and that's most of Americans, and quite honestly, most parents. I
wish I could say that about. I wish that I could say that about Brady, but I can't.
I think he's as clueless and as intelligent as most parents, whether he's 18 or 28, or I know lots of grown adults who probably should not have children.
Yeah,
but it's not my right. It's not my right to take their parental rights away because I think they're going to be silly or they're going to be inexperienced. Like, I don't know. I think there are people where we reserve that right to, people who are harmful or people who are destructive people. I think Tate's a silly teenager, but that has nothing to do. I don't know. I don't make the connect between his attention being with Holly or his attention being at school. I think you work it out. If that's what his choice is, maybe his choice isn't that. Maybe his choice is, I just want to see my baby. Sometimes it's just, I want the truth. And sometimes someone said in the chat, the truth does matter. It does matter.
I mean, sure, but it's how you go about it.
Yeah, I think
there just hasn't been any concern about Sophia. It's all about what he wants and what he needs, and not considering the fact, and I know that we're, as viewers, we know this, not considering the fact that like she gave birth by herself. She made this decision by herself.
Yeah. I think it's the how that we're having the problem with. It's the how.
But honestly,
go ahead.
What concern, and I'm being honest, I'm not talking about just empathy. What concern does he owe Sophia versus his own stuff? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Sophia's not his wife. Like, do you understand what I'm saying though? Not just concern for her. Like people are like, oh, you should get over it. No, he's a parent. It's his, like, I'm trying to connect the dots between her situation trumping his rights. I guess that's what I'm really having an issue with.
But the thing is, there's a disconnect. Hold on. But that's the thing is that there is a care, right? Even if they're not together, they're not a couple, they're not married. Yeah. There is still like a friendship and a care and a connection that two people have when you make someone else, right?
Yeah.
And we saw how close they got throughout the pregnancy and how they really stayed on one page, right? It wasn't until she gave birth and she had to make this decision on what to do, right? No. That and she couldn't, and I think she was also in this state of I think also, just going back a little bit, there was a moment where she knew also his interest didn't lie with the baby 100%, because he was also concentrating on being with Holly. So when we think back to the day that she gave birth, and you know, she did all this stuff, you know, basically by herself. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong timeline. And then it wasn't until like a couple of days later where he
there you go. That's
where he was just like, she could give birth any minute.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm gonna go to the lake. Like, this man was still just like living his life. Oh, that was the other part of it. She eventually had to be bedridden, missing senior year stuff, missing, you know, prom and all these important things in life, while he was still able to enjoy life. So cut to her having the baby and having to make this decision. I think in that moment she was like, none of us want this. And there's no way in the world I can reveal that I now have this baby in hand. I have to make a decision. That decision was to take that baby safely to the fire station, pretend like she's pregnant, devise a plan to where when he goes to the lake, I'm gonna act like I go to Chicago and have the baby and deal with adoption. So that way it's like clear, right? Was that right? No, because yes, Justin, she was taken away like his right and his, you know, decision of wanting to maybe just see the baby, hold the baby one time, right? But in that instance, she was just like, don't nobody want this kid. This kid is going to get in the way of life. Let me just deal with this. But when all is said and done, no one sat Sophia down and said, how are you? Just with the simple fact that she had this baby, by, like even not knowing what we know, she had this baby in Chicago by herself.
Yeah.
And according to her, with a family that's, you had the baby, ready to take it. But no one took a moment to be like, are you okay? Like, how, like, do you need to talk to someone? Do you need to go see Marlena? There's postpartum depression that happens with pregnancy and stuff. That there's a lot of things that I only know because I'm that I've heard of because I'm not a woman, that affects a woman once they give birth. But all we keep seeing is Tate just being like, I want to know this. I want to know this information. I want to.
And you just hit it right on the head, Tony, that where I completely disagree with one of Justin's points, that like I will, you know, bend to a couple of your points, Justin, but the fact that you said earlier in the show, like, characterize Sophia as a gestational carrier, I 100% disagree on that, because when you make a baby with someone, if you then say, okay, I'm going to go with this pregnancy with you, he could have washed his hands of the situation from the beginning. And I would say, okay, you're out. Okay, that's totally valid. But he chose to go through this pregnancy with Sophia. From that point on, yes, he 100% had to care about her emotional state. And he was right there. I'll give him credit. He was right there up until the few weeks before, when she started having those false labors, and she kept telling him, I'm getting nervous. I feel with such anxiety. It's bringing on false labor. At that point, he should have stepped up and said, okay, let's get this done now, so you don't have to worry about this when the baby is born. Instead, he was just floundering. And again, and he's a kid. I get it. You know, part of me gets it, but you can't have a baby with someone, agree to go through the pregnancy with them, and just check out. Check in and check out at your leisure. It doesn't work like that.
It was half in, half out, for sure.
It doesn't work like that, and it has nothing to do with Holly. It has. I'm going to take Holly completely out of the equation. It has nothing to do with his relationship with Holly, because I know plenty of people who that's the case, or they have different partners when they have you know, people grow apart. whatever. It has nothing to do. Holly was, for all intents and purposes, completely out of the situation at that point. It has nothing to do with her. It's him. And the fact that he was half in, half out emotionally.
So I think if I'm going with you, I think you call him an asshole and you curse him out and you scream at him. I don't know if that translates to I control your parental rights. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't translate that to me. It translates if I agree with you wholeheartedly here, I think he's a stupid kid. He needs to be screamed at. He needs to be whatever the case may be, whatever name you want to call him. It doesn't translate to I control your parental rights for me.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
I think it's very much like Sophia's looking at him like, girl, you have not been concerned about this baby. Why don't you just forget it? Here's the answer that you want. The baby went to a loving family, and I know that for sure. Good day. I think internally that's what Sophia ultimately wants to say. Like, you were so concerned about everything else. Like, we didn't want this to be a hindrance in our life. It is no longer. Have a good day. Bye.
And you know what? When all is said and done, maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's where this needs to head. Where they just have a one-on-one, just full-out confrontation. I actually think, now that I say, I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
Just get it all out. Get it, all the cards, all your emotions, just splay them all out.
Yeah.
Should I give Sophia another monologue to say?
But back to my original point, I feel like the issue still is with the mom. The concern is still I will be forced to raise this child. And again, it's not coming from Tate. It's still coming from the mom. Even if I agree with you and I go 100% with what you're saying about Tate's wrong in the pregnancy of the duration of the pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Even if I go with you, which I'm not saying I 100% agree, but I'm going with that. The threat that is the actual threat is still coming from the mom. It's not coming from Tate, nor has she expressed that it would come from Tate. She's not saying if Tate had the baby, Tate would force me to be the mother. She's never said that, of course, because it's not true.
I think what she's I see your point on that. And actually what I think it is, and I think what she's not saying is that Tate wouldn't stand up for Sophia with her mother during the pregnancy. So I think what she's not saying is, how can I trust that he is going to stand by my side and make it in front of my mother and say firmly, you have no rights here. I think that might be another, what, again, she's acting from a place of fear. I think that's a genuine fear that she has, that he is just that he will go along to get along, which is kind of what he did during most of the pregnancy. Because remember, Brady was the one who had to step in the beginning and put his foot down with Mrs. Choi and saying, these two kids are not getting married.
Wait, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying that if Amy forced her to keep the baby, you're saying Tate would join
if
in
Amy,
Amy?
Well, I mean, legally, Amy can't force Sophia to keep the baby. So that's partially true. But she would do her level best to hinder the situation. So then if that's the case and Sophia wants out, then it's up to Tate and solely on Tate to have the strength of character to put his foot down with Mrs. Choi in front of her, in front of a court of law, in front of anyone who will listen and say, I am willing to fight for the rights of this child, whether that be I keep the child or whether that be I make sure that this child has absolutely no contact with the grandmother. And he needs to have the strength of character to step up and do that. And I suspect that Sophia doesn't think that he has that.
It seems a weird roundabout way because it sort of invalidates it if you take the baby away to begin with. So it's sort of like it's like me saying I think Araceli would do this, but you're also not giving that person the chance to. So it it strengthens your point. I guess.
I think he had the chance to. I think he had the chance to every step of Sophia's pregnancy. When he was just kind of going along to get along.
I don't know if he's ever agreed with Amy. I thought he was always
there's not, you don't have to agree with someone outright or disagree with someone outright, but he was just kind of like, oh, I'm not going to make waves. I'm going to kind of put her off. And that was the thing. Everybody kept putting off Miss Choi and say, and capitulating to what Amy Choi wanted in terms of a parent. And I think that was probably the starting point of where this all went wrong, where they both were going along to get along with Amy's definition of what a proper parent was going to be, instead of banding together and saying, this is our child. These are the kind of parents that we want. And this is the decision that we are going to make. And since neither one of them did that, and neither one of them feels that they are in a position to do that, this is the mess that we're left in.
The whole situation was muddled from the beginning, and Sophia was getting it from everywhere. She had Tate, but she didn't. I think at some point in the pregnancy, she also realized Tate is trying to live his life. Mm-hmm. She made a decision that she thought was best for her and the baby and everyone around her. And all she's now trying to do is protect that decision. Period. That's it. We've been talking about this for like 35, 40 minutes.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. She made a decision based on everything that she had been going through up until this point and everything that she has realized up until this point. And when the baby popped out without the plan in mind, she had to set something in motion. And I don't think she felt like she could depend on Tate, because Tate was his thoughts were elsewhere. It wasn't with her.
And we've been discussing this for so long that we completely forgot about the actual baby. I apologize for not actually recognizing that we forgot about the actual baby.
Little T is fine. Little T is over there eating grandmama's tortilla soup and living his best life with Javi and Leo. The baby is fine.
Yeah, that's true. So let's very quickly talk about baby T, who currently Sophia's parental rights by law have been taken away. So no matter what happens here, she don't get to come back for him.
Well, she had 2 weeks to go back for him.
Yes,
but she wasn't going to do that.
Yes, so that part's done. Now he's with Javi, and Javi we finally got backstory. Javi is looking into adopting Tesoro, and I guess at one point he had a daughter who passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
We will get more details on that too.
But here's the thing. In true Days fashion, when I sat up and was like, they just did away with it, and I'm like,
I get it.
So are we going to come back to this in a month?
No. You know what I mean? I
like,
think we're going to come back to it next week.
But still, it's like girl,
no, I think
because it was months ago that we saw the picture of him. and it's now months later that, oh yeah, I had a baby girl and she died. Okay. And then a few months later, he's going to tell Leo, I had a baby girl and she died.
I think we just didn't get that. We just didn't get that information because it was in front of Melinda, and I think we're going to get that information when he tells Leo, which is going to be soon.
Yeah,
because if he wants to keep the baby and he wants to raise a baby with Leo, then yeah, he's going to have an honest conversation about his past.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like there was some sort of negligence there, and unintentional, of course, that the baby died, and that's why he doesn't want, because it's not just that he had a baby, it's that the baby died and there's some sort of criminal history there, whatever that is.
I think the baby might have died of SIDS. That's a very real thing.
But I don't think he would be scared of them finding that out. I feel like died, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it's not a criminal thing. I think it's that parents whose babies die of SIDS, that's the number one thing, is that they blame themselves. They think that they blame themselves for being bad parents. Why did this happen? When it's like it's very just random. There's no there's no blame in that.
But
There's no sense to that.
I feel like and this is like I wish they would tell the actors what's to come, because then I feel like you can play things a little bit differently and better. Because now, knowing that he had a baby that died, I think his interaction with Tesoro would be different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I feel like right now it's like, oh my God, this cutest thing was dropped off at the fire station and and needed a home. And so I decided, what I mean? Like, it feels like that versus like, not this obsession, but this like almost extra care for the baby, or maybe nervousness of bringing the baby home because of what happened before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like sometimes it's like, because then once because then once we find out, we'd be like, and you just comfortable having a baby in the house? Okay.
Yeah. That being said, show of hands, who actually wants Chanel to adopt the baby?
We ain't even talk about that. I'm still trying to figure out how Johnny, just gotten off a trial for potential murder, got 2 jobs.
Yeah, like with all the stuff that's going on with Johnny and Chanel, I looked at that scene of her looking all excited at the baby announcement, and I'm like, oh, not again. No.
I can understand it from her. I think she needs to go talk to Johnny, and they need to come together and whatever that outcome is moving forward. I think that's the issue. I think before Johnny showed regret, I think we were all on board with them adopting a baby. I don't think there was any concerns about them being parents. So I think if wherever Johnny's at in his life, the trial is over, they seem to be stable. Whatever comes from that, I'm not opposed to it. If they're on board as a couple to wanting the baby, then, fair shot for them versus anyone else who wants a baby.
But they need to breathe. They need to breathe. They just, first of all, you was going to adopt a baby. You decided not to. That almost broke up y'all's relationship. Y'all got back together. Johnny went to trial. Now the trial is over. Family talk is not on the table right now. What's on the table right now is creating a stable household for them, and then keep it moving.
Yeah, but then like don't jump steps. Stop. That's my whole thing with this whole baby thing with them. You keep jumping steps. Like, oh, we're just gonna. It's not. Let's have a sit down discussion about whether we're ready for parenthood. It's, I see that baby. Let's go adopt it. That one right there.
Yeah.
I think that alcohol is sitting in.
Oh no, trust me. I would still say that.
And shout out to Miss Patsy, who went along with Melinda's plan in time. She said, "Baby, I got you. I got you, honey."
It's
all
nice
right.
to see that Melinda has friends.
Well, yeah, in the places she needs them. Are we? We're done talking about baby, right? I mean, that's been the show, everybody. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's move on to the next storyline, which is mini golf. Ugh.
Yahoo! Now the alcohol is I got my wish.
Yeah, finally. A year and 2 months later, or 3 months later.
The thing about it is, I'm not even excited because I'm just like, and then now y'all are so concerned that Rachel saw y'all kiss. which Rachel did see you kiss, but Rachel just told Marlena and didn't make a big deal out of it. But now y'all are making a big deal out of it. Then you decide to have a heart-to-heart about everything, which great. I'm glad you guys are getting back on the same page. But listen, here's the thing. At this point, we know why she had to pretend to be Abigail. Everybody get over it. She was apologetic. She is sorry. She did what she had to do for her family. She's sorry. Let's move on. Chad, if you like her, then like her. Kat, if you like him, then like him. But damn it, y'all need to move forward quickly because y'all are too grown to be passing notes to each other. Do you like me? Yes or no? Yes, he likes you. Felicity told you that 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Get it together. I'm not excited. At this point, I just be together. Just start dating. Just start doing. And then we got to do it in secret because the families, in the words, and excuse me,
that could be fun.
Excuse me, Mom, for saying this, but in the words of Terry from Soul Food, fuck the family.
Finish it, Tony.
The family fucked my husband. Faith fucked my husband. Damn.
Tony, are you sure? Are you sure you haven't had anything to drink?
I haven't. I'm telling y'all, the pacing of this show is driving me nuts.
Oh, God.
Which is what, actually, my mom texted me and she was like, "Stop looking down and stop hanging out so late because you look tired and you're not paying attention." And I think that's another thing I had to say is that it's boring. There are moments where I come in and I'm very excited and I want to talk and I want to do a deep dive and everything like that. But then there are moments where I'm like, we have been saying the same thing every week.
I will say, Tony, I feel like their scenes this week had a little more spark now that they were leaning into being affectionate with each other. So I like that. I like that we're moving away from the do we like each other? Do we don't? I feel like that's behind them now. Now I feel like what obstacles they're facing are far more interesting. The tension with Jack and Jennifer, the tension with the Hortons is one. The fact that Kat's working for EJ, not only does Chad not like it just because it's EJ, but we know he doesn't know the real reason she's there to investigate his family, which he wouldn't like anyway. I like the emphasis on the Green family this week. I like that they brought up Mark again, which was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested in this coupledom versus what they're up against. I think is interesting, at least now.
Yeah. And that the Mark part of it to me, I think, was really intriguing because it really puts them not on opposite ends, I don't think, but it really puts Chad in a position of really having to hone in on his personal on just how he feels.
Yeah.
Because he knows that whatever decision he makes, it can't be what the Hortons want, and it can't be what Kat wants. It has to be what he himself feels comfortable with. The only difference is Kat's probably going to respect whatever decision he makes. The Hortons are not.
Here's the other thing too. When they were talking about him coming up for parole and, being excited about potentially him, maybe getting out, and that everyone and then Jack and Jennifer were talking about how they had to write a letter and basically wanted to keep him in there. I'm just like, people in Salem have done far worse. Why is it that the Hortons are always the people who seem to hold on to things tighter than they need to? Let that boy out of jail. Yes, he did a lot of crooked things, but and at this point, we may have to review him.
Oh yeah,
because it's been so long we done forgot. So at this point, it's just like
they even had to do it because I think people forgot. I think the funny thing is they reminded us that he's not in jail for trying to kill Chad. That's not what he's in jail for, which I forgot. he's in jail for switching the paternity results, which I was like, oh shit, you got 14 months for that, but whatever.
Like, do you know how many people would be in jail? Sammy would still be in jail. I mean, as many times as she done switched the paternity test.
I'll say this, Tony. I think to me, I don't have a problem if they're angry at people or they're mad. I think it's insisting that everyone else be mad. You know what I mean? I feel like their own feelings are their own. So I think if Jennifer, I think they should all forgive Kat just in general, but I also reserve their right to hate her for as long as I think one of the greatest things that I always loved, and this is digging from the past, that like Lucas always hated Daniel, no matter the fact that he was Maggie's son, because Daniel had an affair with his wife. And no amount of, forgiveness or kumbaya, up until the day Daniel died, Lucas hated his guts. And I was okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he should run around town getting everyone else to hate him, but I was totally fine with like, they never repaired that or never made Lucas come to some sort of forgiveness for Daniel. It was always, I hate this motherfucker. He slept with my wife, ruined my marriage, and I hate him. And that was it. Like, I'm okay with that. It's the righteousness of telling Chad who he should date or telling other people who they should be involved with. That part I think is too far. But if they want to hate Kat or Mark, I think that's okay too.
Yeah.
But it just feels like this situation, like there should be healing from that. Was it messed up that she pretended to be Abigail? Yeah, absolutely. But also, people have pretended to be other people many a times, and using a whole mask. they pretended to be other people, right? And it's but the thing about it is, I could see them being upset if she did it in a way to gain money, to get in with their family, some sort of almost like how Gwen was when she first came, just trying to get in and get back. That would be one thing. But she did it because she had to save her mother from Clyde. And no one is taking the moment to be like, Clyde, we get it. We understand. That would be like when Stefano was around and you had to do something because Stefano ordered you to. And then them still being mad, like, well, you didn't have to do what Stefano wanted you to do. It's Stefano. What do you want me to do?
I do think, though, there's a part of them that feels like you had support to ask for help or to find a different way. And I think that was sort of Chad's point in the beginning, from him or from anyone.
She didn't know those people.
Anyone else.
She didn't know them.
To be fair, she knew them when she's manipulating them. So
when she was, she got to know them as she cultivated the plan and then got put into the scenario. She got to know them, yes, but still in the initial thing, she didn't know them. She didn't have anyone to go to be that she could trust to be like. So I'm in this situation. I am not Abigail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But I think maybe it's an awful situation, yes. But like, girl, it's like y'all, come on. She has you now have all the facts. You have all the facts. Like, at some point, forgive her. She didn't do it with ill intent. She did it. She had a choice. It was either her family or y'all's. Yes, she chose hers because she ain't know y'all. She said they'll be all right. My mother will not be.
I don't care if they forgive her because honestly, I don't think that she needs their forgiveness. She knows what she did was wrong, but she knows that she didn't do it for selfish reasons. So I think she needs to stop apologizing at this point because she's apologized as much as she needs to. Yep. The real thing is that Chad needs to set some boundaries, which he started to. He did great with Julie setting that boundary of like, I'm not going to try to change your opinion, but you also need to respect mine. And that's the same boundary he needs to start setting with everybody else. And if Chad doesn't want to forgive Mark, that's also his right too. Yeah. If he's in a position where it's like, I'm never going to really feel comfortable around this guy and never really want to trust him, that he's going to be okay. If he wants to set boundaries where that's concerned, and even if he wants to speak up and deny his parole, that's 100% his right. That to me is him. That's him setting a boundary. It's not saying I'm never going to forgive him and I'm going to continue to blame him for the end of time, or trying to do what his in-laws are doing and tell Kat that her brother is a terrible person.
Yeah,
he's just setting his own boundaries, which is what he should be doing. And I firmly believe that if he does that, and if he is honest with Kat and says, I don't feel comfortable with him being out, I think she'll be disappointed, but I think that she'll understand.
Yeah. I also, one last point, I'll say this. I think he made a great point when he said it wasn't, or trying to like talk to Kat about it. It was like, it wasn't just the attempt. It's also the fact that my wife has been killed, the other parent, I'm the surviving parent for my children, and I was almost killed. Like it's a different layer, and it's a different understanding than oopsie, you did something wrong. So yeah, like I said, it's, if he doesn't want to forgive Mark, then cool, that's fine too. But he doesn't have a right to like dictate anything to Kat, like, oh, Mark doesn't need to be here, or Mark, like, you can't control that. That's the same thing Julie's trying to do to you, that you put your foot down up, which was great. But yeah.
Let the boy out of jail.
I do think he should be out of jail though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, and it was great to see the interaction between, that's a plus that Days is doing, is, we are getting a lot of interaction with family and with people and things like that. Great. So it was great to see Tate and Aaron, hanging out again after their whole summer flip-flop debacle.
And with their siblings and everyone just having fun. Like,
with Rachel and Felicity and stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, after getting a hole in one, let's move over to some anger management, shall we? With I can't.
You didn't like any of this, Toby?
Which part specifically can you not with?
I thought this was a bad. And for people, this is the Xander, Philip, Gabi, Marlena sort of Tony situation we're talking about.
Why do y'all feel the need to discuss things that you already know?
Oh,
was there any reason for Xander and Philip to bring up the fact that the letter was a forgery? No, they did that because the pen was recording and they needed Gabi to hear it. And now I'm sitting here like, great, now she knows. Great, now she's going to tell Tony. Great, like, but now she's in this dilemma because she slightly has a crush on Xander and Philip. And it's just like, what are we doing?
But she doesn't have any significant personal attachment to either one of them yet, to risk her career for them.
Yeah.
Gabi, you have a thriving career, though. You don't have to be CEO. You are CEO of Gabi Sheet. You don't have to be CEO of Titan. Demira, you don't have to be that. Like, girl, you got your own company. You got your own email address. You got your own dealings with your own company. You want to now be over everything? Because if you're over Titan Demira, guess what? You're not gonna have time for Gabi Sheet.
She's an ambitious woman.
I kind of understand that in the sense of like, if these two companies are going to be the parent company to my business, and it seems like she can't get out of these contracts or whatever, we're just going with that, I guess. It ensures Gabi Sheik will always be there if she's in charge of the parent company, which I kind of get. And she's ambitious, and she's had Demira before, and it was taken from her, and
Then Gabi, be the smart businesswoman that you are, and you walk into that office with Philip and Xander after, showing them a little leg and taking it right back, and let them know, I don't care what happens to Titan Demira. Gabi Sheik will always be Write that down. But you trying to be CEO and do all, it's just like, and for 2 seconds, I thought she was going to have a heart. She did the flashback of her and Xander. She did the flashback of her and Philip. And then she just couldn't call Tony. But then she decided, oh, I'm going to go just tell you in person.
But though, like, why would she have a heart? Or is that having a heart? Like, she has no loyalty to... She has more loyalty to what the mirror is than she does to Philip and Xander.
Okay. So she kissed Xander one time. She slept with Philip one time. That doesn't equate to any kind of loyalty to them. She has a contract with Tony. That's it. That's at least on paper. That's worth more.
I don't. It's not, a longing for or a loyalty to them, but it's like if you think about your business again, you gain control of Gabi Chic to where no matter what, you, Ari, your company will be fine. You didn't have to bring Tony wants nothing to do with Titan Demira, and it's kind of using you as a roundabout to be involved in Titan Demira. But you don't have to be the CEO of that. You be the CEO of Gabi Chic. And if Titan Demira goes down, baby, you... Now, where you going to take it to, I don't know. But you can start Hernandez and corporations.
Well, that's the interesting part, because he doesn't want Titan. He just wants Demira back. He's not taking over both companies.
For what?
He's just getting Demira back.
For what?
Well, Tony wants it. What do you mean?
What?
Yeah.
What does he want
for?
Tony
wants it for his family's company. He
doesn't want it in family company.
But don't nobody want. But nobody in the. Oh, fuck the family. See, the family don't want it either. The family,
there's a bad guy.
And you guys were worried about me. Jeez, Kristen Tony's a whole mood today.
Kristen has had the company. EJ has had the company. Johnny don't want the company. Chad don't want to be a part of it. Tony doesn't want to be a part of it. That's why Demira Enterprises ended up with Titan.
Well, he says he doesn't. We'll see if there's some ulterior motives there.
Then
I don't think there's a bad guy here. I actually like the competition between the businesses. I think this is what we've always wanted with them to have genuine business storylines from back when they had them in the 90s. Yeah, I don't think there's I don't think Tony's bad for wanting the company back or finding, trying to take it back. I don't think Gabi's bad either. She's going with what makes sense for her, and
she's ambitious. There's nothing wrong with it.
Be ambitious with your own stuff.
That is not how ambition works.
Yes, it is.
No. And I even don't think that there's a bad guy in the whole Xander versus Philip.
No, it's like
this week. I thought they both had a really great conversation this week.
Until he fake choked.
Yeah,
that was weird. I was like, why would you reveal that? Just keep that to yourself. Even if you did it, I was like, why reveal it? Keep it to yourself.
He had me up until that point.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think... Don't even get me started on that situation, because I still don't think the whole beat up should have happened.
Even Mama Moore's sake, calm down.
Mama, I'm quoting Soul Food.
Yeah, he's acting Mama Moore. He can't be blamed for.
Also, there's a part of me that wants to be like, I'm 42. But I can't because
exactly.
You know she'll get on a plane.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, this is a side note. This is a generational thing. Even at my age, I still have healthy fear of my mother.
Yeah,
because my mother is an authority in my life, right? Even though I'm grown, but that's the problem with this younger generation. They don't they don't fear their parents, and because they want to be best friends with their parents. My mama always said, I ain't one of your little friends. Even though low key she is the person that I can go to that's going to be there, but she had to establish that like first and foremost, I am your mother. And
she
I
can be
have
your
to
friend now at
respect that.
40 something, not
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she
Not
will
it.
also still knock the dog piss out of me
Yes.
if I act up.
You know how you become a healthy best friend with your child? You raise them the right way to be the kind of person that you would want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't want to hang out with your kid when they're older, that means that there's something wrong there.
This is true. Okay, anyway, sorry, side note, back to Days.
Yeah.
Anyway, like the whole situation is muddled to me because again, I still don't feel like Xander should have beat Philip to a pulp.
No.
See, I told you, see, I already done got her started. Exactly. But I like that whole situation is just muddled, and I feel like right now, like they can just do great work together, and my hope is this, that they figure out that it was Gabi, and that they just work together to make sure that the company is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I'm up for some like Demira versus Titan. I'm up for that. Whatever, And for me, it's good. It's good if you switch sides. This week you're with Tony and Gabi, and next week you're with Xander and Philip. Like, I'm all for it.
But also, like, and I know this is a soap and it's supposed to be soapy and drama or whatever, but it's like, why? Here's another plan. Why not just have a meeting with Xander and Philip to just run, like, you two can be co-CEO of the Titan side of things. I will be CEO of the Demira side of things. Because you got two companies. Everybody can't do everything.
They don't want that. I think they figured there's two CEOs under Titan. We'll be fine.
People are,
but also
greedy.
I'm not giving Gabi any of my company. That doesn't. No one.
Yeah, they would. Yeah,
says, I'll give you some of my company. I have plenty. Like, what?
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
Well, don't know Demira want it except Tony.
Yeah,
for whatever
and
reason.
then to the people who are saying like, "Oh, Xander is ruined. Why they make him such a bad guy?" I have to wholeheartedly disagree with you people. Xander is not the bad guy. Xander has made some poor choices as of late.
Mm-hmm.
Philip recognizes that Xander has made some poor choices. Philip also recognizes that he has made some poor choices. And the difference here is that Philip has spent much more extensive time in therapy than Xander has. Mm-hmm. Which is why he is very encouraged to see Xander in therapy with Marlena, and why we should all be sitting down and paying attention to those scenes that Xander has with Marlena, because she's actually getting to some root issues.
Yeah.
And we should be encouraged by that.
Yeah. I love the way they had Xander express the stuff with Sarah and Philip. I was like, even though we knew it and we heard it, having him express it to a neutral party, I think was a really good way to go. And to have him sort of, I think up until this point, he's kind of doing the therapy mostly for Victoria, even though I think a part of him recognizes he needs help, but he's been fighting that part. And I think Marlena will help him get to that point where it's not just about Victoria and yeah, you should do it for your kid, but also for yourself. And I think if he continues with this, which hopefully he does, he'll get that. But I thought those scenes were really well done.
And look at how much calmer he was coming out of that session with Marlena. Yeah. His tone was definitely different from one conversation, from the conversation he had with Philip to before Marlena to after, way different. It didn't take away the anger completely, but his tone was more level. He was able to actually think clearly, having actually expressed those emotions and not be immediately judged for them.
I tell you this though, Marlena tired of everybody. She's like, I'm sick of carrying everybody's secrets. I'm tired. Y'all are leaving me restless.
Yeah.
I did laugh.
Young and restless.
when he revealed what Sarah did, and Marlena was just kind of like, "Oh, okay, maybe things are a little bit more even keeled there." I thought that was interesting because her and Sarah have been getting so close, so it was a little bit of like, Sarah's not so innocent here, Marlena.
Yeah, and I think that definitely helps Marlena in her treatment of Xander because she's able to see the full picture of like, oh, here's Xander expressing himself honestly and trying to work to take accountability, and I've only been getting one side of it. Now I'm getting both sides.
He made sure not to reveal beating up Philip, which I was like, okay, you're kind of teetering the line there, but okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We've been just pounding away at stuff, haven't we? Well, those were your top storylines, everybody. Now we're going to move on to our tidbits. But before we do, just a gentle reminder, everyone, please, 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 please support us, y'all. And how you do that? Follow us on social media. Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we upload a video or when we're going live. If you are a diehard Dishin Days fans and want to get a little down and dirty with us, become an exclusive member. See some content before everyone else gets to, and make sure you can participate in some of our virtual events where we really let loose. And also make sure you take us along with you if you can't watch us live or later on. Take us on a walk with you using Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And if you're watching us later, show some love to JLJ Media, where all JLJ Medias can be found. James Lott Jr., we love him. And tell us your thoughts. If you're watching us later on, comment. We do see them, I promise. We don't always comment, but we do see the comments. We appreciate your comments. We love your comments. We love your views. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's get into our tidbits, shall we? And we're going to start with Salem U. Everybody going to college.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually enjoyed this little, I don't know, there was something wholesome and something nostalgic about it, of sending the kids off to college and the parents going and, helping you move your stuff in. I don't know. I just got a weird kick out of this little section here.
It's a fun dynamic that we're heading into.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, they tried the high school years with The Last Blast, and instead of doing it with this class, it's like, let's just do it in college.
Yeah.
So this feels like Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
But them dorm rooms are big.
Yeah. Somebody. Yeah. Who said that the dorm rooms are tiny? I'm like, that is what you consider tiny?
Yeah, they weren't tiny, definitely.
No, I remember
they were
when
huge, but they weren't tiny.
When I went to college, I could lay in my bed. My roommate's bed was literally right across from mine, but if I stood up, I took 2 steps and I could be in his bed. That's how.
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah,
that's how small the rooms were. There was one year though, or 2 years where the room had bunk beds. And I was in the bottom bunk. My roommate was at the top bunk, and that gave us more room in our room because I would rehearse dances and stuff in the room. but dorm rooms were not big at all. Also, I remember the concept of being because I didn't know anyone from my high school or any of my friends were going to the same college, so I was just just put me in the room with someone. And now looking back, I'm like, I just trusted the school to put me with someone. And it was this anticipation of okay, one of us is going to get there first. Someone is going to get there second. Who's going to be introduced? Are they going to be cool? Are they going to well, luckily,
did you guys talk to your roommate beforehand? Because for us, they, my college did it where they told us who our roommate was, but they gave us each other's contact information. So we talked before we met each other.
Yeah.
I met them that day.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I believe I did because we had to configure like who was gonna
bring the fridge
bring
or
what for
yep.
the room.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
yeah.
divide everything up evenly. And
Yeah.
that first year was an experience.
Mine were great. I'm still good friends with my college roommate, and then my broader sense, the roommates I moved in when we had like more room where we were in like suites and houses and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that was it for me. It brought up a lot of nostalgia, which was nice.
Mhm.
I am. Oh, I forgot about one of them. So I don't talk to him anymore. There's two of my roommates that I still talk to, and then I moved into an off-campus but on-campus apartment with my two besties, Kim and Cherie. Shout out to Kim and Cherie.
Mhm.
They had one side of the apartment, and I had the other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm best friends with my second year college roommate, and we hated each other for the first 3 months of living together.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
because y'all were so similar.
Yeah.
No. No. That's why we hate each other. We were complete opposites, and we did
Mhm.
not understand each other at all. And then, like, kind of 6 months later, we're best friends.
Yeah. College should do that.
But so everyone's there. Ari, Tate,
Mhm.
Holly, Aaron.
Mhm.
Everyone's excited to see everyone progress with their college years. Maggie, Kat, and Brady, dropping
Mhm.
the kiddos off and getting everything set up and all of that. So that was great. I could have done without Tate and Holly doing it in the room.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was weird. I thought it was like that was a little weird.
There's always that one roommate. Unfortunately, there's always that one roommate who thinks that now that you can go to college, that you can just do it with your boyfriend whenever you want, just completely forgetting that you have roommates there. And
Luckily,
my
I
advice,
never had to deal with that.
oh no, yeah, my advice to Holly: set boundaries quickly.
Oh, well, she did set a boundary.
No, she walked out of the room. She capitulated. Girl, if you're being put in an uncomfortable position in your own room on day one, I don't care if it has to be a
No.
written contract. Set a boundary.
She said, she looked at Tate and said, early in the morning, you want this. Late in the evening, you want this. And he gonna
Poor
get it.
Ari.
I mean, it's also not weird, but also complicated that he's her cousin, so there's that part of it too. It's like,
What?
it's like okay, that Ari and
Ari and
Tate
Tate.
is Ari's cousin.
Ari and Tate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, you thought I was saying Holly and Tate?
Yeah, I was like,
No, we're talking about Ari. We feel bad. We feel bad for Ari.
Yeah.
now, were they trying to indicate something happening between Aaron and Ari?
We'll
It's
see,
college.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
it's
we
like that
come back-
awkward first day of college.
If we come on Monday and they laying in bed,
Oh God, no. God, I can't.
It's not gonna happen, guys. Calm down.
Well,
I hope
listen,
we come back to them just playing video
Aaron
games.
definitely worked out all summer, as we see. So, we'll see. We'll see if he has better luck in college than he did in high school.
I mean, he was all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very tight shirt, see through. Very.
oh, in his college years?
Oh, and when they were moving in, they were.
Oh, yeah.
They do. Yeah, could definitely see.
Aaron
definitely worked out over his break.
Aaron definitely represents, and we all knew this person. This person who in college decided to reinvent themselves.
Mhm.
There were so many, and I don't know. I just stayed who I was because I didn't feel like I needed to change. But like there were people who like presented themselves one way in college, and then there would be one random person or somebody that would be like, oh, they were not like that in high school.
Yeah.
And then we'll show you like proof
Yeah.
And then like how they were like nerdy or maybe a little chubby or something like that. But then in college they were just like it's like, you know, oh no, my name isn't Stefan anymore. It's Stefan. And it's like, girl.
Yeah.
That's what Aaron is giving. Aaron is giving like, you know, oh, you didn't think I was Rico Suave in high school, but in college,
Right.
I'm about to be a Rico Suave. All right. Well, that was Salem U.
Yeah. One thing, sorry,
Oh, yes.
before just because we were talking about that, we forgot to mention the Mama Green is in a facility nearby, so I feel like they might pick that up at some other point to have her come out, but apparently she's still dealing with the effects of what Clyde did to her. Like they were never really sort of clear about what she was going through. Like before it was like the legal trouble, so that's why Aaron was there to help her with that, but now I guess they're sort of implying she still needs some mental help with what happened to her. So just a little reminder. Maybe we'll see her in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one.
For those listening, this is the 6-year sentence. This is obviously Kristen sentencing and Brady and Johnny and Who annoyed you most, Tony? Who annoyed you the most?
I feel so bad for Eric Martzoff right now because the amount because the amount of hate, the amount of just pure hate that his character is getting right now online is just like, whew. Granted, not the worst I've seen, but I get it.
I know that everyone is trying to keep it from Rachel and other people.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to tell Brady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to tell Brady and just be like, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I also just feel like how harsh he's being is just kind of like, I get it. It's Kristen, but it's also like, girl, like,
it's way overkill. Like she's already being sentenced. Why are you coming in saying give her the like? I don't know. There's something
because he's angry,
but it's also in the level of anger in relation to him. Like I guess the context is Kristen did this to Rachel essentially, like put her on the stand and made her agonize in the weeks that she had stomach problems and all that stuff. I guess the consensus is he's attributing all that to Kristen's fault. Which I get, but I don't know if it's worth going in and advocating for her to be in jail longer. I don't know.
And that's the reason that people are so pissed at him is that even if that were the case, he's not seeing the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
That he is letting his anger dictate his long-term decisions towards Rachel and her well-being. Like, her mother being in sick, like this situation is bad. Her already bad. And yes, it's not your fault. It is, you know, Kristen has at least not to his knowledge. To his knowledge, this is all Kristen's fault. But even if that were the case, you pushing the judge for more time does not make the situation better.
No. I love seeing Marlena have some sympathy when Belle kind of went in and Marlene was just like, stop. And Belle was like,
yeah.
Girl, are you okay?
Yeah. Now I hope they continue that. I actually like that. Not that I think these two are like gonna officially bury the hatchet and be best friends, but I think we also, if they've sort of put Kristen and Marlena in the same family now for a while. So like at some point their relationship has to change. Especially now John's gone. John hasn't been a factor for years. Like Brady and her were kind of getting along for the most part before this. So I think, there's a time where certain relationships need to change. So maybe that's, what the good thing that might come out of this, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand keeping it from Brady. It still doesn't make sense to me. He's not the type to ruin anything. If anything, I think it would develop a healthy respect for Kristen for doing this. He may not like the fact that she's doing it, but also like the Rachel side, like we talked about last week. So
Because he would have
all
done
of this is now on Marlena to like help Rachel. Do you know what I mean? Like she's the only one who knows the truth. Is she supposed to be like? I know Kristen asked her to keep an eye on Rachel, yes, and she is a grandmother, but still, like now she has to like make sure Rachel doesn't exhibit any signs and make sure her mental health is intact. Like how do you do that without involving Brady? Like I don't know, it's just not connecting for me.
Birthday boy. Oh, we moving on?
Moving on, okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, JJ. Gwen, y'all get it together. Welcome back, Jack and Jennifer.
And that cake did not fit in that box.
Why are you yelling about the cake?
Because everybody noticed that the cake did not fit in the box. Also, that the cake did not look delicious. Which I think is a personal insult to Chanel. Don't put that nasty looking cake on Chanel's bakery. Because I know it didn't come from there.
Probably came from Ralph's.
I loving the Gwen scenes. Love her with JJ. They're little like now it's starting to become a little back and forth. Before it was I hate you too. Now it's sort of like I can throw you a compliment. I can be nice to you. I can kind of accept it. I'm a little hesitant, but I love the thing with Jack. I still think like she is her father's daughter as much as they like to fight it. And like she very much is a Johnson. And I think they're overplaying a little bit. And maybe my memory is about like how much the Hortons quote unquote did to her. I wouldn't say they treated her amazingly well, but I don't know if like the ire or the like disdain she has for them equals how much they treated her. I don't remember. Maybe someone else can remind. Maybe I'm misremembering certain things. But I did like when Gwen said, "You're choosing the Hortons over," because it makes a distinction of like, you are my family. I know you're married into the Hortons and you have been for years, and your kids are Hortons. But I'm a Johnson and you're a Johnson, and we have way more in common with each other than we do with the Hortons. And I like that. I like her bringing that up.
I think it's coming back to what we talked about earlier, which is it's the hypocrisy. Like not so much from JJ. I think JJ is one of those people that, you know, he's got a history. He can't talk. But he doesn't constantly throw Gwen's mistakes in her face. The conversations that they have had lately have really been fair in terms of like, well, if you want things to change, you know where to find me, kind of a thing. It's the rest. It's Jennifer. We'll just say it's Jennifer. It's Jennifer and her blatant hatred and hypocrisy and convenient forgetting of history. Like, do you not remember how bad Jack was before you married him? Like, do we need to go over his list of crimes?
I was surprised JJ sort of respectfully brought that up without sort of really taking her to task, but also being respectful about it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Happy birthday, JJ.
Yes, happy birthday, JJ. And happy birthday to me.
And happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me, who actually, despite having a drink in her hand, kept her cool because Tony was the one that was all trigger happy this whole episode.
I wasn't trigger happy. I was merely just making a point.
Many with very explicit words.
Points were made. Now you can ask we could do a survey of the people. Was I right or was I right or was I right?
The only person whose opinion matters is Mama Moore.
True. But who did you agree with most today? Myself, Justin, or Araceli? Comment below. Actually, you know what?
Oh my
God.
Let me put that as one of our one of our things right now.
Oh,
Hold on a
goodness.
minute. Right now, if you go to our Instagram, who did you agree with more in
On all
today's
topics.
episode? Okay, I got that. We are now going to creating a poll live right now. Tony, Justin, Araceli, or nobody. There we go. The poll is
0.
now officially, see right here. The poll, oh wait, you can't see it. Whatever. Oh, there we go. The poll is officially going up.
Vote
Right
however
now.
you want, people. I take no offense to anyone's opinion because I don't think this is fair to you guys.
You don't think it's fair?
No,
Why?
because I don't like putting our audience in that position.
Why?
Because I like them.
And if they like you, they'll vote for you.
I don't need them to vote for me to
It's
like
fine.
me.
Oh, God.
We'll see. We'll see what they say. Well, Justin has a vote. That's
Well,
what.
to be fair,
Michelle-
there were a couple above that too.
You
Oh,
don't-
excuse me, Justin.
You got something. Tony
Justin.
got
Vote with your
Araceli got
heart.
something.
Everything's fine.
And
I will love you.
Michael.
I will love you all no matter what, as long as you don't come for my Irish garlic chips. We're still friends.
Let me do a poll of if you had to get rid of one of us, who would it be?
Oh my God, not get rid of.
That poll isn't going up. But what is going up right now are our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And, oh man, I just realized I have to press the buttons.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I'm back. That was Days of Our Lives, everybody. We're now going into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap! Oh snap! Oh snap!
There we go. All right. My 3 Snaps Award goes to an amazing couple who is such an intricate part to a storyline that we see them just as often as the storyline is discussed. I don't know who these people are. I don't know how this photo was made. If it's a stock photo or did they actually call people in. But to whoever this fake family is, you are doing a good job. You doing a good job. You are doing a good job for this storyline.
Oh my God. Too funny.
So to the redhead mama and the hot daddy with the new baby,
Yes.
you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
There we go. All right. And we don't have captioned that because Michael Mattis isn't here. So take a moment with us and let's travel back to
Those were the days.
All right, everyone. I'm taking you back to September 2nd, 1997, when Carrie stopped Sammy and Austin's wedding with the bombshell news that Will was not Austin's son, and giving us one of our most memorable sort of slaps here when Carrie bitch slapped Sammy and actually knocked her to the ground. Yeah, if you remember this was a nice bookend to when Sammy showed up to ruin Carrie and Austin's wedding, announcing that she was pregnant. So flash forward sort of 3 years later, and we have sort of this scene that kind of Carrie sort of gets a little bit of her revenge. And after the show, we will drop Those Were Days Extended, where I sort of do a little Sammy versus Carrie, and sort of give my opinion on their sort of epic feud over the decades, and who was right, who was wrong, which character was better represented, vice versa. and what I thought, what I think moving forward with these two. So go check that out after the show. But that was September 2nd, 1997, when Carrie stopped Sammy in Austin's wedding.
Thank you so much. And now we know.
Those were the days.
And we love those days.
Mhm.
Make sure after the show you go check out Those Were the Days Extended and share it with a friend. And now it's time for
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a Gift goes to John Paul Lavoisier as Philip Kyriakis, just really selling that he's on the verge of dying.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. JP's just such a character actor. It's nice to give him his dues.
Mhm. I didn't like that. It was when you see. Did you see when he spit it out and it like flew?
I saw it just flew out.
I was like, okay, that was a good job spitting it out and making.
He did. Yeah, he sold it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Araceli, for that. And that was.
It's a gift.
And now it's time for.
News and gossip.
And to start off, we have some casting news. Some of you may have heard we have a new Theo in town next week. This is newcomer Tyler Joseph Andrews, who has been cast as our new Theo, who will make his way back to Salem on Tuesday's episode. Congratulations, Tyler. We look forward to seeing kind of what Theo's going to be up to next. I think we all were sort of expecting this. They've been hinting at him for the last few months. So yeah, we got a brand new Theo. So that we'll see. Yeah, we'll see next week how, if the characterization has changed, if he's still the same Theo, what they lean into versus what they don't, how has he changed? So yeah, big congrats to Tyler, and we'll see him this week.
And you know when they made the announcement that this Theo was coming? This
a few days
week.
before, yeah.
And do you know when he's arriving? Next week. Interesting how they made this casting news, you know, in the way that it should, rather than saying a brand new Theo is coming next year. We get to see him right away. And that's how you share casting news.
In addition to that, we want to give some congrats to friend of the show, Lucas Adams. He actually has been cast as the new Noah Newman on Y&R, where he will join, of course, Billy Flynn and Tamara Braun. And he'll begin airing sometime this fall. So big congrats to Lucas. We'll miss him at Days' trip, but yeah, we're all for people working, and seems like Y&R is snatching up some Days people and some other people, and they're looking to sort of not revamp their show, but to add to their cast. So big congrats to Lucas.
Yeah. Oh, and do you know when the fall is coming up? Do you know when they announced that Lucas Adams was coming? This week. Shortly before what? The fall. Okay.
Yes. Next up, happy birthday to our Hope Brady, Christian Alfonso, who celebrated her birthday this past Friday with me. We're birthday twins.
Yay.
Yay.
I always she's always so nice. At least I hope it's her that's running her Instagram. Because I wish her a happy birthday too, as she reposted the photo of her and James Lott Jr.
Yeah.
And it has to be one of my favorite stories of Dishin Days, when James Lott Jr. got to finally meet his idol. And it was like I saw her. Well, I love telling this story. This is going to be in, for her birthday, but James, like, this is during Day of Days. James Lott Jr. wasn't on the show, but on Dishin Days, but I said, listen, no one will be able to do this interview justice other than you. You have to come. You can come as part of us just to do this interview. And he came, and there was one moment where she went up the stairs, and Tammy Govea, who was one of the hosts at the time, was like, oh, there she is. And James was like, oh my God. And Tammy was like, girl, go in the corner and get yourself together. And then finally it was time because her and Galen came together. Yeah. And I walked over and I said, James Lott Jr., Christian Alfonso. And James describes that as almost like everyone parted ways. And there she was. And she just went, finally. And they embraced. And it was you can check that interview out on our YouTube channel. But it was such an amazing interview. And I'm just always happy that that he got to meet someone that he's idolized for so long. Like, what so amazing. So happy birthday, Christian Alfonso. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, please go watch that interview when James sort of expresses to Christian. And usually sometimes those things can be uncomfortable for the actor, or they can come off really weird or like theater or whatever. But she actually really took it well. And she was actually surprised he knew so much, not just about her stuff as Hope, but other characters she played. And she just took it well. And Galen sort of sitting there beaming like, oh, like you're getting your flowers. So go check out that interview. It's really, really well done and really great moment for James.
I'm so impressed that James was able to keep his composure and actually sit down and have a cohesive conversation because it could have gone way the other direction.
He's a professional. He's a professional.
Even professionals, there's always that one person. It's never who you expect it's going to be. There's like one person who you like, you think, I have all my questions. I'm going to get the interview right. And then they're like, you're so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh man. I thought of this. Next year for Christian Alfonso's birthday, I'm going to find the clip where James Lott Jr. reveals the meaning behind his screen name at the time, which was Black Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark J. Freeman and I sat in awe because we both thought it was like Black Hope. Mm-hmm. But he was like, oh no, I consider myself the Black Hope. And I was like, that's what that means? We were in shock. Shocked. I have to find that clip and I have to say, happy birthday, Christian Alfonso. Here's the Black Hope.
It's during the 5-year anniversary. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anywho. All right. Sorry. On with more news and gossip.
Attention, all Electra Women and Dyna Girl fans. Deidre Hall and her former co-star Judy Strandis are making 2 of their favorite prints available to fans. Both prints will be personalized and autographs, but there are limited copies. So go to her official social media page at Deidre Hall _official for details and information on how you can get the official Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. Next up, Carson Boatman and Raven Bowens took a trip to the Valley Relic Museum in Van Nuys, California, to take a walk down old Hollywood memory lane. This paid tribute to original NBC stage lights that date back to the early 20s, and you can, up to this July, that they were used on the set of Days sound stages in Burbank. So that's over 100-year-old stage lights. That's crazy. So you can see that and a ton of other memorabilia at the museum, and you can go to at Days Peacock to see their contribution to the museum.
Nice. And last but not least, we have a little update for the Day Players band. They've actually just added Day Players, a new gig for the new year, February 21st. They're going to be in Tacoma, Washington. And of course, for the rest of the year, you can catch them in Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Naperville, Brookfield, and Batavia through October. And all tickets and information, you can go to thedayplayersband.com.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, that was
news and gossip.
And now let's take a look at what's coming up on this week's episodes of Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Time goes so quickly. Quickly for some, slowly for others.
The waiting period's over, Leo. Tons of people are going to be competing to adopt the cutest baby on the planet.
I already have a baby in mind.
Do you remember how I told you that firehouse baby could not have been Sophia's?
So was he right? Could the baby be theirs?
How long me.
6 years, baby.
It's my fault. My mom's in prison.
Well, welcome home, Theodore.
So what's this proposal you have for me?
They announced Theo and poof, there he is. He looks great on camera.
Yeah,
Intriguing.
What is?
I like this is the perfect time to bring a character like Theo home. Yeah. Like you forget that Theo is a Demera, and then he comes in and you're like,
I like when they lean into the Demira side.
Yeah. I hope he eventually be like his mama. And just,
The right
for a
dress.
hot second. Yeah. Well, can you imagine if they got him like a red suit?
I know, right?
We already did that with Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever.
Something. Same little homage to Lexi back then. Yeah.
Purple.
Well,
I take purple.
Well, maybe this week, Days will wake me up. And when we come back next week, I'll be super excited to dive into what happened this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives. But in the meantime, that's been our show, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. We are here every Sunday, live and in living color at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But in case you want to get up close and personal with us, you can follow Michael Mattis on Instagram and X at ML Mattis and MLM Images LA. Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TA323 Araceli.
And you can find me at Lounging with Tony everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where if you are a fan of Beyond the Gates, I just interviewed Daphne Duplay and Keith Robinson, Nicole Head. So make sure you go and check that out. You can also check out my interview with Trisha Mann Grant, who plays Dana Leslie, and also Carla Mosley, who plays Danny Dupree. Go to my YouTube channel and check it out if you love Beyond the Gates. But if you want to dive into more of Days, you can follow us on Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you back here next week for another full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. In the meantime, everyone have a wonderful, safe, and cool week, and we'll see you back here live next Sunday. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Ta-ta for now. Toodles.